we need to get closer to the source. Well, the contactees and abductees saying they had been in contact with the entities, that's close to the source. So we decided to move our research closer to that source and get into abduction research and try to find out, being closer to the source, what this phenomenon was about. The only problem with that at the time is that MUFON wasn't set up to work with the abduction experiencers. Okay, they're doing scientific-based investigations on UFO sightings. They really didn't have a format to working with the abductions. And we had to kind of separate ourselves to be able to do that. We couldn't do it under the name of MUFON because we had no real guidelines except for what we've been taught as being investigators to do interviews and research and how to document stuff. So we decided to set up a separate entity organization called CE4 Research. And CE4, Close Encounter of the Fourth Kind. That's what that stands for. You got first kind, second kind, third kind. Of course, you've all seen the movie The Third Kind. Fourth kind is abductions. So that's what we titled our group. Even from the beginning, the information was always available to MUFON. We never kept it separate. We always offered it if they wanted to see it. But like I said, they weren't really set up at the time to be involved with that. So we started interviewing the abductees and the contactees that we had come into the meetings over the next couple of years, started documenting all the information. And as we were doing this, we were also learning as much as we could from other researchers who were in this field, the big names, you know, that Bud Hopkins, Willie Strieber, John Mack, you know, they had done extensive research already. And because the abductees and contactees that we were encountering seemed to have a lot of personal issues, we didn't want to do any more damage to these people by working with them and interviewing them. So we needed to learn as much about them as we could. So we consumed all of the research we could get our hands on from the researchers that were well known that had been working on this for some years. We wanted to be prepared as we went into this so that we wouldn't cause any more harm to these people than what they had gone through already. And I want to give you a little idea of what the abduction experience is about. And one of the best examples of this was written by the late Dr. Carla Turner, who was actually an experiencer herself. And she put together a really good piece to take you through and show you exactly what these experiencers go through. If abduction reports can be believed, and there is no reason to doubt the honesty of the reporters, the abduction phenomenon includes the following details. Aliens can alter our perception of our surroundings. Aliens can control what we think we see. They can appear to us in any number of guises and shapes. Aliens can take us, our consciousness, out of our physical bodies, disable our control of our bodies, install one of their own entities, and use our bodies as vehicles for their own activities before returning our consciousness to our bodies. Aliens can be present with us in an invisible state and can make themselves only partially visible. Abductees receive marks on their bodies other than the well-known scoop and straight-line scars. These other marks include single punctures, multiple punctures, large bruises, 3- and 4-fingered claw marks, and triangles of every possible sort. Female abductees often suffer gynecological problems after their alien encounters, and sometimes these problems lead to cysts, tumors, cancer of the breast and uterus, and hysterectomies. Aliens can take body fluids from our necks, spines, blood veins, joints such as knees and wrists, and other places. They also inject unknown fluids into various parts of our bodies. A surprising number of abductees suffer from serious illnesses they didn't have before their encounters. They have led to surgery, debilitation, and even death from causes that doctors can't identify. Some abductees experience a degeneration of their mental, social, and spiritual well-being. Excessive behavior frequently erupts, such as drug abuse, alcoholism, overeating, and promiscuity. Strange obsessions develop and cause the disruption of normal life and the destruction of personal relationships. Aliens show a great interest in adult sexuality, child sexuality, and in inflicting physical pain on abductees. Abductees recall being instructed and trained by aliens. This training may be in the form of verbal or telepathic lessons, slideshows, or actual hands-on instruction in the operation of alien technology. Abductees report being taken to facilities in which they encounter not only aliens but normal-looking humans, sometimes in military uniforms, working with the alien captors. Abductees often encounter more than one sort of alien during an experience, not just the grays. Every possible combination of gray, reptoid, insectoid, blonde, and widow's peak have been seen during single abductions aboard the same craft or in the same facility. Abductees report being taken to underground facilities where they see grotesque hybrid creatures, nurseries of hybrid humanoid fetuses, and vats of colored liquid filled with parts of human bodies. Abductees report seeing other humans in these facilities being drained of blood, being mutilated, flayed, and dismembered, and stacked like lifeless cords of wood. Some abductees have been threatened that they too will end up in this condition if they don't cooperate with their alien captors. Aliens come into homes and temporarily remove young children, leaving their distraught parents paralyzed and helpless. In cases where a parent has been able to protest, the aliens insist the children belong to us. Aliens have forced their abductees to have sexual intercourse with aliens and even with other abductees while groups of aliens observe these performances. In such encounters, the aliens have sometimes disguised themselves in order to gain the cooperation of the abductees, appearing in such forms as Jesus, the Pope, certain celebrities, and even the dead spouses of the abductees. Aliens perform extremely painful experiments or procedures on abductees, saying that these acts are necessary but give no explanation why. Painful genital and anal probes are performed on children as well as adults. Aliens make predictions of an imminent period of global chaos and destruction. They say that a certain number of humans will be rescued from the planet in order to continue the species, either on another planet or back on the earth after the destruction is over. Many abductees report they don't believe they're alien captors and foresee instead a much more sinister use of the rescued humans. In every instance from this list, there are multiple reports from unrelated cases confirming that such bizarre details are not the product of a single deranged mind. These details are convincing evidence that, contrary to the claims of many UFO researchers, the abduction experience isn't limited to uniform pattern of events. The phenomenon simply can't be explained in terms of crossbreeding experiments or scientific research into the human physiology. Before we allow ourselves to believe in the benevolence of the alien interaction, we should ask, do enlightened beings need to use the cover of night to perform good deeds? Do they need to paralyze us and render us helpless to resist? Do angels need to steal our fetuses? Do they need to manipulate our children's genitals and probe our rectums? Are fear, pain, and deception consistent with high spiritual motives? And again, that was the late Dr. Carla Turner. Another thing that these people get in their messages through the communication from these entities, through the experience, there's a number of these that I touched on. There'll be other speakers coming up talking more about the alien message, but this is a few of them. They say they are the ones who have created us by using DNA. They will guide us in our next evolutionary step. Jesus, Moses, Buddha, Muhammad, and other religious leaders were really them. That the earth is actually a living organism. They teach that the earth will be destroyed if they cannot change mankind. They teach that they are more advanced both technologically and spiritually. They teach that they are corporeal beings and that they reside in other star systems. They teach that they are our benefactors.